Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are here live on Co-working Wide with Red Worldwide, and I'm Dr. Patience Jackson Rose, and we are so excited that you are here with us. And today we are going to be doing our Smarter Start Bootcamp. We have another wonderful episode for you today for Smarter Start Bootcamp. And let me just explain what Smarter Start Bootcamp is for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, or maybe you've been with us a few times before when we've been on co-working, but we've been focusing on something else. Today, which is absolutely a Monday, we are focusing in on what it takes to run a business smarter. So we're going to be strengthening our entrepreneurial vision today with self-awareness. We've talked about emotional intelligence. We've broken down what it is, and we've kind of, talked about how we can use it, but we are really going to focus in on our EQ today and just look at another aspect of how we use it to motivate our teams, and some of us might not be working with physical employees on our team. Maybe we have contractors, maybe we have vendors, maybe we are working in collaboration with some other companies. Our company works with their company, and together we're able to provide X. Okay, we have these particular types of relationships, and we need to understand how being self-aware helps us to serve people better, what it does for us in our own the ecosystem that we've built, also needs to be the same for what it does for someone else when we're working directly with them. And so we're going to break all of that down today and really focus in on it, and just kind of give you about a 45-minute jam-packed session of something you can walk away with that you can put in focus today. Before we get started, we got an intro video, so we want to bring that up and just get ready and prepared for what it is that we'll learn.
Welcome to another episode of Smarter Start Bootcamp. Today and in this episode, we're revisiting an essential tool for motivating and inspiring your team, your EQ. How self-awareness plays a critical role in effective leadership. The foundation of any enduring business is a well-crafted vision. But to translate vision into reality, it takes more than just strategy. It requires leaders who understand themselves deeply and can inspire those around them. That's why this episode is all about self-awareness and how it impacts not only your decision-making, but also your ability to motivate and influence your team. Key concepts we'll explore. 1. Defining a vision that goes beyond profits. Your vision is your North Star. It's what guides every decision and action you take. In this episode, we'll challenge you to define a vision that goes beyond just making money. A truly impactful vision addresses larger goals. How will your business make a difference in the world? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? We'll look at examples of companies that have used their vision to create long-lasting impact, showing you that when your vision extends beyond profits, it resonates more deeply with both your team and your customers. 2. Self-awareness as the core of effective leadership. According to emotional intelligence principles, self-awareness is the foundation of all great leadership. But what does that really mean for you as a CEO or business leader? It means understanding your strengths and weaknesses, recognizing how your emotions affect your decisions, and knowing how to use this awareness to inspire and guide your team. Self-awareness isn't just about knowing yourself. It's about understanding your impact on others. In this episode, we'll discuss how you can harness self-awareness to make better strategic decisions and how it can help you build stronger relationships with your team. This isn't just a nice to have, it's essential for creating a lasting business. 3. The role of self-awareness in decision-making. The best leaders don't just react, they respond thoughtfully, considering both short-term gains and long-term impacts. Self-aware leaders are able to recognize when their biases or emotions are influencing their choices. By understanding your internal drivers, you can make decisions that are both strategic and aligned with your larger vision. This episode will provide tools for developing self-awareness, from journaling and mindfulness practices to seeking feedback from those around you. When you understand yourself better, you make better decisions. Decisions that will set your business up for sustained growth. Practical tips for building self-awareness. Incorporating self-awareness into your daily routine doesn't have to be difficult. Here are some simple yet powerful practices. Journaling. Regularly reflecting on your thoughts and decisions can provide insights into patterns and help you recognize areas for growth. Seeking feedback. Don't shy away from constructive criticism. Ask your team and peers for honest feedback on your leadership. This shows vulnerability and fosters trust. Self-assessments. Tools like personality tests can give you deeper insights into your strengths and areas where you may need improvement. Mindfulness. Taking a few minutes each day to be present and observe your thoughts can help you become more attuned to your emotional responses. By integrating these practices, you'll be able to lead from a place of awareness and intentionality, which is crucial for long-term success. 4. Creating a culture of openness and growth. Your self-awareness as a leader sets the tone for your entire organization. When you demonstrate openness and a willingness to grow, you encourage your team to do the same. A self-aware leader is one who fosters a culture where employees feel safe to share ideas, take risks, and grow together. This isn't just good for morale, it's essential for innovation and long-term resilience. In this episode, we'll cover techniques for building an environment that promotes openness and psychological safety, encouraging your team to develop their own self-awareness and emotional intelligence. After all, a company that invests in the growth of its people is a company built to last. 5. Using vision to align and inspire your team. A powerful vision is only as strong as the people who believe in it. Leaders who are self-aware and connected to their vision are better able to inspire others. We'll discuss how you can use your vision to align your team's efforts with the company's strategic goals. An aligned team is one that moves faster, innovates more freely, and remains resilient in the face of challenges. Vision-driven companies are also more attractive to customers and partners who resonate with their mission. When everyone is clear on the direction, your team will be more engaged and motivated to go the extra mile. Stay with us, and you'll gain insights into how to lead with vision, motivate your team, and make informed decisions that set the foundation for a sustainable and impactful business. Your legacy begins with how you lead today. Let's build a business that's truly built to last.
Okay, so as you can see, we have a lot planned, okay? And the goal here is to really give you just some foundational truths that will help you jump in and be present in the moment, because one of the things that we have come to understand is that we can only do as much as, our vision it has been, that as the vision has really been pushed forward. And I want to be really clear about that. A lot of the time our vision is in our head, and so we see where we're going. But other people who are with us, they don't see where we're going. And the best way we can help them is to, again, be aware of how much of us we are actually sharing, how much of those thoughts we're actually putting out there, and how much of it really is still, just present in our head. One of the keys to building a more valuable business is making sure that the vision itself is one that's shared across the team, across the company, and helping us to get there is what we're trying to do today. So if we can just pull up our slides, we're going to go ahead and jump in. Okay. And so today we are really, really consciously being aware of what it means to be self-aware, because of course, that self-awareness principle is really important. And we can't, get stuck at a place of where we are not able to see, what it means for us to be self-aware. I want to say that I do have, hold on, let me just make sure that I can see. Okay, yeah, see the chat. And if anyone is in the chat, they can, we can make sure we're responding to anything they have to say there. Okay, all right, let's go forward. So what is the importance of emotional intelligence, or EQ, for business leaders? How do we, really use EQ, and how do we really pay attention to it as we're, moving forward with our day? Well, let's talk about, first of all, its importance. It helps us to build trust and understanding, and it fosters effective communication and collaboration within our teams. And again, our teams may not be very large. It could be that we are working with a small group, Hey, we're okay. Okay, sorry about that. But we may be working with a small group. But if we're working with a small group, it could be that we are intentional, because sometimes what we do may not include or may not entail having a large team. It just means that we have to be focused in on what all each person, whether it's 3 people, 2 people, 5 people, are doing, to make sure that we're working together. And that does include having very good communication. And so here, as we're looking at the concept of being self-aware, we have to be aware of the fact that if we've been used to working by ourselves, sometimes, we've got to go back to, okay, how do we let every person know, what it is that we're working on, when we've been used to doing it all in our head, or used to doing it all on our notepad, or in our tablet. And let me say something about that. It's very, very, it's a deep concept, okay, to understand how important it is for everyone on the team, whether it be 2 people, 5 people, or 10 people, to understand their role and understand your role, and be able to understand how we communicate to get, us all on the same page. That is one of the most difficult things that I've seen companies who have grown from maybe one person doing everything to a team of people doing, several things. And so with that said, I just want you to be aware of how you lead. If you're a person that has consciously led, in a manner that you did almost everything yourself, and you were conscious of the fact that as you got, to the place where you were able to have a team, you were sharing responsibilities, then you probably did a lot better job than I did. Okay. But I know that because I worked by myself for so long, that when people came on the team, I had a hard time giving them responsibilities. It was like I'd hand it to them and I'd take it back. Okay, I want you to do this. And they'd look up and it was done. And oh, it was just horrible. And so I will say to you that if you want to build trust, people have to be able to understand that you trust them too. And the way that you do that, is to communicate more effectively. It's very important that you're able to help people see what you see, but you have to make sure that you're communicating it. When you have really good EQ, it does give you the ability to have improved decision making. We did a whole piece on decision making excellence on Friday. And if you were not here, you got to go back in and watch that episode. It was absolutely phenomenal, I believe. I think it's one of the best ones that we've done. And it has more to do with people, not so much that people don't know how to make decisions. It's just that they don't understand, that there may be a better way of communicating the decision that they've made. So, having, again, that self-awareness gives you the ability to have improved decision-making or decision-making excellence. It allows you to make informed choices by understanding your own emotions and the emotions of others. And so, again, on Friday, we talked about some biases, cognitive biases that we might have that causes us to make certain types of decisions. And if you have good self-awareness, good EQ, that emotional intelligence will help you to understand your cognitive biases and either remove them, refine them, or repurpose them in a different way so that you can be better at what you do. It's so important that you have that in your life. Okay. And then, we want to also pay attention to your increased motivation, because when you are operating with a very high EQ, it gives you the ability to inspire and motivate your team by creating a different type of an atmosphere. The environment will support you, and you can create a supportive environment for them as well when you've done your best to make it a positive place to work, a place where people really want to be, and they can, feel free to share their ideas and to be everything that they are, right there in that, in that space where they work. And then, of course, you want some enhanced productivity, and you're going to get that when you have a high IQ or high EQ, not IQ, EQ, okay? Because it promotes a more productive work environment, and you're able to resolve conflicts better, and people, understand when you know yourself and okay, this is the way that I flow, and let me share with you a good way for you to get information to me so that I can make sure I'm responding to what your requests are, requirements are faster. I mean, I tell you, it really does make a lot of sense. Okay. So let's look at, how do you understand your strengths and weaknesses as a CEO? Now, this is an area where a lot of us may struggle because when we're talking to other people about our strengths and weaknesses, sometimes, we have skewed views of, what we are seeing, okay, or what we should be seeing, what we're looking at. It's, yes, those strengths and weaknesses are absolutely there. And when we had the session where we talked about, cognitive bias and these other types of biases, we talked about doing a SWOT analysis. You can do a SWOT analysis on yourself, right? Where a SWOT analysis is where you looked at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And you can do one of those on your own personal self. However, sometimes because of these ideas that we come to the table with, it gives us a way of viewing things that doesn't help us to see the exact truth about our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and successes, or I should say threats. So I want you to understand that when we're looking at things, we've got to be able to really identify our strengths, because it is a crucial thing for us maximizing our potential as a leader. And you might want to excel, and really promote your abilities in a way that your foundational things that you're doing to help yourself grow, are really positioned and focused on, the things that you really need: strategic planning, team building, inspiring others. Those might be areas that you are excelling at, but if not, you need to be promoting some level of training for yourself, that you can become better at a strategic planning, or better at team building, or better at inspiring others. We're going to be doing some future services in which we are offering full workshops and seminars on strategic planning, on team building, and on, motivation and inspiration, because we believe that these are things that people really need. So on our Wednesday, our Wellness Wednesday, we've been providing you with good information and things that you can put in place. But we really do believe that we need to go just a hair bit further and actually having a full out, 7 or 8 hour workshop, that you can attend online or in person, to learn more about strategic planning and to learn more about, building out a team. Because some of us who've been working by ourselves or working with small teams, we don't understand team building, what it takes to maintain the team as you're bringing people on. And you find yourself in a situation where you end up having lots and lots of turnover, and that's not what you want. And so in order for you to be able to build a team, you got to have some skills. And so we're going to provide you with the ability for you to do that. And identifying your strengths, it is a crucial thing. But if you find yourself in a situation where you have weaknesses, and you know what they are, to attending, seminars, workshops, trainings, getting extra, certifications does really help you to, turn those weaknesses into strong points. Okay. So we got to acknowledge them, and then you got to, do what you need to do to protect your the integrity of your company and yourself by turning the weaknesses into strengths. And then having balance, okay? This is an area where many of us struggle. We are over the top on some things, and we are really, struggling in others. And so we want to be able to use our strengths to compensate for the weaknesses, while we're growing. While we're turning those weaknesses into strength, we've got to take what we already are strong in and, use those areas to provide us with the help that we need, to become better at what we do. So we may have to seek out support. We might have to put some other people in place. I have come to understand that there are some things that I may never be extremely strong in. But one of the things that I have become very proficient in is understanding where to find the assistance that I need. Okay. And so what I've done is, I tell people all the time, there are two types of people in the world: those who know and those who know where to find it. And so I look at, okay, where can I find the assistance, or who do I know that, could partner with me, or that could collaborate with me, or what kind of cooperative relationship can I go into where those areas that I am absolutely not the best in, I'm filling that gap with people who are helping me to become more proficient in those areas. And so that is extremely important. Okay, so let's take a look at this next area. How do we, use self-aware to make strategic decisions? And I think that this is going to be really important because, hold on just a second. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have anyone putting information in the chat, because I know that we're doing some things today that's a little bit different. And so people may be chatting over in YouTube, and I just want to make sure we catch them. So if you see me going back and forth, that's because of the fact that we do have people that are, in different places, and they are sharing with us in ways that are helping us to just, keep up with the team, okay, that's online with us daily, and making sure that, if they have something that they want to put forth about what we're talking about, or if they have questions, we are able to answer those. And I want to make sure that that this you might be seeing this as a recorded video, but we are doing this live. So when certain things happen, like a good portion of the things fell off my desk while we were speaking a little while ago, it's because it's live. We didn't edit it out. Okay. And so it's you're getting this live. So just making sure you know. But the other part of that is that if you're on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, you can contribute information in the chat there, in the comments section, and we have a moderator, a person who's actually there and can respond, or either let us know so that we can respond live, when you are communicating with us. Okay. So that's good information for you to know. Okay. All right. So how do we take a look at, what it is that helps us to make strategic decisions? So let's take a look at that now. Understanding your impact. You've got to know what part you play. It allows you to understand how your emotions, your biases may influence the decisions that you're making, and the fact that you even have a bias. Some of us, we didn't really know that we had biases, and we're just now learning that we have biases. And so, because of that, the just now learning part of the process, it could make things sometimes difficult, and other times not necessarily difficult, but it could cause us to position ourselves so that we're not focused on what we need to be focused on. But when you understand the significant impact that you play, then you may focus a little more on your emotional side and what it is that happens when things are, keyed up for you a little bit higher, or when you maybe have some kind of an affect issue going on, where things around you may not allow you the ability to operate in the fullness of your happiness, or your excitability, or whatever that is. There are some of us that are affected. I was sharing with someone the other day, they were talking about that they're affected by seasons, and so they have been dealing with or struggling with seasonal affective disorder, and having this issue of, when the holidays come, they start having certain things that they feel, they have to deal with, or, when certain kinds of things happen around their parents' birthday or their grandparents' birthday, and their grandparents may be deceased now, that sometimes can provide an issue. Sometimes people are just, more sad, during certain times of year. Some people have really big issues when it moves from summer to fall and from fall to winter, and so we have to know that this is a real thing, and that we need to pay attention to it, although the way we pay attention to it is going to be important. And so on some of our Wellness Wednesdays, we've kind of talked about, what do you do when you feel depressed, or when you feel like, there's something missing, or how do you reframe the situation to help you. And Coach Kevin is going to be coming to us next week, and so hopefully he'll address some of those issues at that time. But you've got to be able to consider the big picture. When you are looking at, okay, this is what I'm experiencing, but I've got a huge organization that I'm running. Even if your organization is small, but you're serving a lot of people, it's huge. And you have to know that. And you have to be able to see past your immediate gains or your immediate losses, and make choices that benefit your long-term health of your company. And that's not just the people that work there and you, but it's the people that you serve as well. The products that you're pushing forth, or the services that you're pushing forth, they really depend on you being able to see where you are now, and how what you do today affects what it is that's going on for the long haul. then you got to make informed decisions. By being aware of your own perspectives and biases, you can make more rational and strategic choices. When you know what you're dealing with, then you can say, okay, I need to check into this a little further because this may be just how I feel, and this might not be the best way to approach this situation. Okay, so let's take a look at this next one because I think this is going to be important. When you recognize the impact of your actions and decisions on your team, you can actually, again, make informed choices about how things are going to be handled based on what you see. So let's take a look at the action. The action is public praise, and the potential impact, it motivates and inspires team members. Now, let me just say this. I want to pay attention to the fact that when people are well, public praise motivates and inspires team members. But if something happens where someone on the team may not be well, and when I'm saying well, they may not be able to work well because they may not be emotionally in the game in a way that they should be. They may be working at certain deficits. The potential impact might be different than what actually happens based on what's going on, with the person. So if something happens and you put something out there and it doesn't quite go the way you expected, do know that it may not be your fault. You may have done everything you needed to do as a leader, but now you need to focus in on the individual to help them, get to a place where they're able to, take advantage of what the impact was supposed to be, as opposed to, them seeing it differently. I tell you, I've had that experience where I was working with a team of people in a company, and what was intended as something that was supposed to be super important for them as an individual turned out to be something that they received totally different. And when I say they received it totally different, I mean it was totally different. They walked away from the situation and were hurt as opposed to inspired. And it was because they felt like all the other times they had done the same thing, and then all of a sudden today you recognized it. And it's like, well, okay. Maybe I recognized it before, but today I decided to, make sure that everybody else knew that it happened. But they didn't see it that way. And unfortunately, it left a big, gaping hole, in a situation that if I had known how to focus in on the person at that moment. When I saw that the impact that we went for wasn't what we got, then I needed to focus more in on the person and begin to help unpack what was really going on, And so what could have I possibly done? So this is, let me just kind of unpack it for you. If you have a person on your team that does not receive public praise in a positive light, then it may be that there's something that happened before you got to the team, or something that happened before they came to the company, or something that they're experiencing even now that disallows them from being able to see it as a positive thing. And it may not mean that you need to play therapist or that you need to be the consultant or anything like that to work with them. It may mean that you need to address it and then give them the options of what could be done to, help them see it differently, or for that matter, to know that, it was meant differently than the way it came across to them. And just addressing it sometimes is enough, and then giving them the ability to take advantage of a resource that your company might provide to them, whether it's counseling or coaching or even just a course, But I tell you, the addressing of it goes a long, long way. So understanding, that people, sometimes are going through things that they just cannot express, or that they didn't even realize was there. And that's another issue sometimes. It's very important for you to be able to make sure that you control the narrative. It is not up to a person that you are trying to communicate can they communicate something to for them to try to figure it out? It's up to you to control the narrative and make sure that they understand what you meant. Okay. Then for constructive criticism, sometimes offering opportunities for growth and improvement is really important. And sometimes you have to be able to, constructively criticize a situation in order for people to see that there is something that they need to grow in. Okay. And so when you refuse to constructively criticize, what happens is that people, will often not even realize that they're having a challenge, or that there is an area for growth. And you can't put it under the rug or just act like it's not there. I've seen dysfunctional companies operate that way for years. And it really does become a hard thing when somebody new comes around and saying, why are we all ignoring the fact that this is happening? Or someone from outside of your organization notices it and everybody inside of the organization is refusing to deal with it. I mean, all of that is stuff that we just have to be able to do better at. And so I am sharing with you today that it is very urgent that if there is an issue, that everyone who is there for the issue is willing to address the issue. It's very important, okay? And then the lack of communication, it creates confusion and frustration, and it leads to a decrease in productivity. And you've got to be the person that says, okay, I don't want this. I want to have my company functioning and operating in a way where people who are here are, here and clear about what it is that we do, how we do it, and what we are doing, for and with the people that are working, on this team or surrounding the team or collaborating with the team. Okay. All right. So, how do we leverage self-awareness to build a team, that's successful, to build out a business that lasts? How do we do this? Well, the first thing is that we want to make sure that we've got stronger leadership, and self-aware leaders inspire trust, create a positive work environment, and they boost morale, okay, and performance. And so that's why we as leaders need to make sure that we are lifelong learners. We're always positioning ourselves in a way that is going to be positive in our, in infusing ourselves with the material, with the thought process, with the education, with whatever it is that we need to have to make ourselves more self-aware. And then the other thing is we have to have improved communication. Self-awareness helps leaders communicate effectively. And when we are able to communicate effectively, it reduces the misunderstandings and it fosters, collaboration amongst those that you're working with. And then lastly, it gives you effective decision-making. Again, we talked about decision-making excellence, and we've, been spending time here. We've got a whole 10-week session that we're doing right now on our on Focus Fridays, where we're talking about decision-making excellence. And so we're going to be doing everything that we can do to provide you with good training, and you should come to Focus Fridays or get it, after the fact online, so that you can make sure that you're doing what you need to do to lead more strategic and, more strategically, and to have sustainable growth within your organization. Okay. All right. So with regards to the techniques, so let's look at these 4 techniques that we spoke of and that were talked about in our video. We've got 4 things here that we believe to be very, very effective in getting us into a place where we have a greater self-awareness. And the first one is journaling. Some of you guys are aware that I wrote an entire book where I talked about, the concept of, journaling and where it comes from, and all of the wonderful people that we know in history, famous people that use journaling, for having the ability to have self-awareness, to actually journal their thoughts and their ideas about what they were going to do in their business or with their products or services. And it has been very, very successful. There is a lot of science to support that effective journaling, when you do it in a mindful way, that it absolutely assists you with reducing stress, that there's biofeedback that, has been done before and after people use journaling prompts, and the right kind of journaling, or journaling what we call the right way, and how it affected their physical, makeup, what it did for them in their bodies. Okay. And so when you regularly reflect on your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your journaling helps you understand yourself better, but it also has some unintended effects. Okay. It helps to reduce the stress because you've written it down, you've gotten it out. Now, what can you do about it? All right. And then sometimes you're able to see on paper things that you could not necessarily see when it was all in your head. For me, journaling is key. I use it in my wealth management. I use it in my health practice. I'm a practitioner and I serve people in a very powerful way. And we use journaling as a part of that powerful way. Okay. And so it's very important, and I can provide you the science behind it. If you're interested, throw something in the comments and ask, or send me an email, admin@redworldwide.org. I will send you the science behind it. If those of you who really want to see the science and see how it works, I'll even send you, if you're interested in knowing, from a faith-based perspective, how journaling is key in our walk every day. And so I'll share that with you too, because some of us who are, of the same faith tradition, we use journaling and we don't even realize we're using it. And so I would love to send you that information. And then the other thing is, for seeking feedback, when you ask people, what they see, sometimes what you get back is a different perspective than what it is that you see. And so having that feedback coming from trusted colleagues and mentors, it does provide you valuable insights into the strengths that you have and your weaknesses, the areas for improvement, so that you can absolutely see things that may not have been as visible to you before mentioned by these other people that you trust. So it's important for people that are around you, if they're noticing something, if they are hearing something, if they are seeing something, and you are able to seek out their assistance, then by all means use that feedback, because that feedback could be key to helping you in your self-awareness journey. Then the other thing is being, able to assess yourself. There are plenty inventories and tests, like the personality tests that we know, Myers-Briggs, some of these other ones, that people use. These tools, do help you gain an insight and a deeper understanding of your personality and your values. Sometimes it may not be that you have to make changes. You just need to be aware that those things are there, because if you know that they're there, then you know how to work with them. Some things are tools, and they are treasured tools, and you don't even realize they're part of your personality. Whereas other things are things that if you use it too much, it could lead you down a path that you don't want to go. So having the ability to assess yourself and understand, what it is that you're seeing is important. And then having a mindfulness practice, something that you can use to help you, get into your inner calm. That also helps you to become more aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas. How do you get present in the moment? This is just a very key thing. For me, I had to learn to utilize, this inner calm that I was experiencing more frequently, because there were times where there were people around me that was just, they were off the chain. The frequency of their body being in the room was just a change for me that sometimes would slow me down. So I'm telling you that I had to learn how to, kind of project my calm on others in a way that it would cause them to understand the importance of what it was that I had created for my environment and to respect it. But also, if they needed to, enjoy it as well, to let them know that it was available to them. Okay. Because that is really a key thing. Okay. Making sure that people understand that, this is a superpower for me, being calm and being relaxed and being able to, not fold under pressure. That's a superpower. And because it's a superpower, I want to make sure that people understand how they can then use it. All right. So you need to be able to empower your team through self-aware leadership. Understand, that they have some things that they can then, experience and demonstrate as well, to the team. But you've got to show them how self-awareness benefits your leadership and encourage them to develop their own self-awareness. They have to be able to be self-aware. I see Coach Crystal chiming in. She says, yes, doing the test and realizing self-understanding. She says, I love doing this for people, and I think it's important. I really do think it's important that people do understand that you're on a journey and that your journey is important to them because you're just modeling for them what you would like to see them experience as well. Creating a culture of openness is very key, and it's going to be important that you are able to help the team that you're working with and that you're collaborating with to understand, being open, is very important, that there's nothing really to hide. People are going to see it anyway. And so when you have a culture of openness, they can share what they're experiencing and offer their experiences, what they've learned, to the team as well to help everyone grow. And so it provides opportunities for growth when you are providing to your team professional development, coaching classes, courses that, will allow them to stretch out in everything that they are to become and to help them grow even with their EQ. That's going to be a very important tool that you are offering to them and that will allow them to become all that they can be. Okay. So as we're concluding today, the real key role of self-awareness and effective leadership is that we do seek to make sure that the people that we're working with are able to see our journey and to share in our journey, because it helps them to understand that there is a journey that they are on. And it helps you to create a positive, productive, and inspiring environment for everyone. Coach Crystal is saying positive and safe culture builds the team so organically because they feel heard and valued. And that's so, so true. When a person feels valued, then of course they give more. And you're not trying to suck all of everything out of a person. You're just trying to make it easy for them to be everything that they're to be in that environment so that they feel fulfilled in their role. Well, this has been Dr. Patience Jackson Rose with Co-working Live for Red Worldwide, and we thank you for joining with us today, and we'll see you again next time.